First, we are joined by Impact Minerals with the ticker code IPT, a diversified Australian exploration company. To tell us about their projects, today I'm joined by Managing Director, Dr. Mike Jones. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Jane, and great to be here. And thanks for everyone coming on to listen to all these stories today. Very exciting time to be in the market. Impact Minerals, we are a junior explorer. We are here to find a major world-class discovery. And in the last 18 months, we've managed to transform ourselves from an Eastern States focused company to a West Australian focused company on the back of the Julimar discovery by Chalice Mining. And we've been able to establish a total of 10 projects in that time, covering about 4,000 square kilometres. So we're early stage, certainly compared to the other stories today. But our track record is that we have been accumulating ground around Australia over the years that we've been in business, large strategic ground holdings in very prospective parts of the country. And we have a Commonwealth project in New South Wales in the Lachlan Fold Belt. We have Broken Hill, a major ground holding there. And as I've just said, we've put together a very strong portfolio in the last 18 months here in WA, looking for strategic metals, battery metals, so nickel, copper, PGMs, obviously lithium and rare earths, but also we've got some good gold projects as well. So a little bit about the company. We've been listed since 2006. We have just over 2 billion shares on issue. Share price around about 1.2, 1.3 cents, giving us a market cap sort of in that high 20s. Cash 2 million, but we have just launched a renounceable rights issue, which I'll talk about at the end, and certainly something to keep your eye on over the next couple of weeks. And you can see we've had tremendous volume in the last month or so. That's been driven by the drill programs that we've got going on at the moment on our Hopetown project down in the south part of WA. So we've been rationalising our Eastern States portfolio, so I won't dwell on that, but I just wanted to show you Broken Hill. The scale at the bottom here, 10 kilometres. We're the largest ground holder probably around the world-class Broken Hill mine, but most of the activity has been focused on high-grade PGMs, nickel and copper in the tenements coloured in blue here, which we recently joint ventured out to IGO, and that's one of our strategies, is to look for major companies to come in and joint venture into our projects. And we have one underway at the moment with IGO. The overall deal is 18 million over 8 years to earn 75%, which is a tremendous amount of money. And they're currently spending a significant amount of money on a deep penetrating EM survey, probably leading to stage 1, 6 million to earn 51%, and then 12 million to earn a further 75%. And some good news is that they found a very significant conductor shown here on this map down at the southern end of this 9-kilometre long trend called the Moorkai Trend, which is basically dripping with PGEs and nickel and copper, but has only been explored over the last 30, 40 years in the southern part of the area around Platinum Springs. And this is some of the massive sulphide we intersected a few years ago now. And it is probably the richest ore in Australia. If you look at some of these grades here, 0.6 metres at basically an ounce of platinum and palladium. It's got some gold in there. It's got 15% combined nickel copper, ounce and a half of silver, it's got cobalt, and 1 to 2 grams of some of the rare platinum group elements. And you can count on the fingers of one hand where this type of material is found around the world. Anyway, this material here is very conductive, and IGO have identified a conductor, possibly in a feeder zone to this body here, this intrusion, and they'll hopefully be drilling that later this year. The EM survey is still in progress. They've only completed about 80% of it. So lots of news to come from there. But shifting really to WA, just one quick slide. We drilled our Dunia Gold project early this year. It's a joint venture. We're earning 80%. And we're not far from the Burns discovery of Lefroy, which is, this is a picture from Lefroy. Some very unusual magnetite copper gold mineralisation, very unique. We think we've got the same geochemical signatures here. We've managed to get 4 or 5 drill holes into a target. It was logistically difficult for drilling. Those assays will be coming through shortly, and I think there'll be some follow-up work that needs to be done there. But really, the main focus and what we've managed to do in the company over the last 18 months is we've put together basically 10 projects covering about 4,000 square kilometres in this southwest part of Western Australia, which has been an emerging mineral province certainly for battery metals, on the back of the Julimar discovery by Chalice just north of Perth here. We own 3 projects 100%, Dinenut, Bow and Arkin. And we recently announced 4 joint ventures: Naria, Dalgaranga, Jumbo and Hopetown, which is where we're drilling now. And a lot of that's been driven by a new geophysical technology that we've been trialling, and it's been some very successful results so far. Just a quick look at Aachen. Here's the project area shown in white, with our Bow project just to the north. The day that we announced this pegging of this ground, Anglo American came in and staked 10,000 square kilometres around us. They obviously were interested in this ground. We just managed to pit them to the post. And they've got a massive EM survey going on at the moment, airborne EM survey, spending about $4 million on that. And we're tagging on the back of that, and we'll have an EM survey going middle of the year. So this whole area in part of the southwest terrain, as I said, becoming a very significant province for a wide variety of strategic metals. We're the first people basically to do any significant detailed exploration in this area. We did some soil sampling along roads and tracks, and managed to identify 6 priority targets, plus 4 or 5 other medium priority targets. And basically this is a summary map of all the anomalies for nickel, copper, platinum, palladium and gold. 6 priority areas. We've completed follow-up sampling on 1, and we've been doing land access negotiations to get into some of these areas here, and we'll be starting soil sampling in the next month or so on that. And all of them are very significant anomalies. We could only get along tracks, gazetted roads and tracks, taking samples at 100-metre intervals. And we can see here in this northeast top right-hand corner, these circles here are 100 metres apart, and these anomalies are running for hundreds of metres along trend and across trend. Never been drilled, never been any follow-up work done, and so it really is virgin territory, and this is a ground floor opportunity. Whilst we were doing that work, we were fortunate enough to also identify a significant number of lithium anomalies, LCT, lithium, cesium, tantalum, pegmatites. Same story, some images here over the magnetic data. The lithium anomalies are running for hundreds of metres along these tracks and traverses. Again, never been explored for lithium, and so this really is some virgin terrain. On the back of that, one of the joint ventures we announced is our Jumbo joint venture, shown here. Aachen shown in the white and Jumbo in the yellow. And again, first fast traverses through here, again following up some of this new geophysical technology. We identified some significant rare earth, rubidium anomalies, as well as nickel, copper and lithium. And this is a function of having large ground holdings in an area. You're going to find more than what you started out looking for, and that's certainly been the case on our projects in this area. So look, we're repeating the same process. Our target generation is working really well. I probably expect within 6 months we'll have well over 50 drill targets identified. There'll be a portfolio that's probably second to none in our sector. So at the moment, we're drilling one of our joint ventures down at Hopetown on the south coast of Western Australia. And we're drilling here because we had 2 targets, Top Notch and Silver Star, that were fully permitted for drilling once we got into the area, testing a few things like the geochemistry, some of the geophysics. We've had some sniffs of copper at Top Notch, but we're drilling at the moment at Silver Star. And we announced a couple of weeks ago that we've intersected an altered shear zone. It's about 25 metres true width. It's got some minor sulfide. Really don't know what we're going to find in it. We're hoping for some gold at least. Those assays won't be back until June. The core has just arrived in Perth. However, based on what we've seen, we're starting our second drill hole tomorrow. The drill has been on break for a week. Geologists are heading down there today. And so we're very excited to see what's going to happen in the up dip of that shear zone over the next couple of weeks. We also identified lithium, and there's a nice coloured picture here of spodumene. It fluoresces in ultraviolet light, gives us a very distinctive pink colour. And this is the first lithium basically found south of Ravensthorpe. So the Hopetown area, we believe, is a southern extension of the Ravensthorpe greenstone belt. There's an active lithium mine here, Mount Catlin. There's some dormant nickel mines. First Quantum have got their nickel laterite mine there, and Medallion Metals have got their copper, gold and trilogy deposits here. And we think we have the deformed extension of that material here. And so very exciting place to be. Never been any drilling down south of this fault zone here, to cut up, only shallow exploration holes for geochemistry. So super opportunity, and there is time for anybody to be involved. The rights issue we just announced, it's a renounceable rights issue. You can buy the right to buy the shares, which are open to all shareholders. It's a 1 for 4. It's a 1.1 cent purchase price, but you get a 1 for 2 free attaching option, exercisable at 2 cents over the next 2 years. And if you looked at our share price graph, we were pretty close to 2 cents only a couple of weeks ago. So this is a very attractive proposition. And you can buy those rights until May the 13th. There's the code, IPTRA, and a fantastic opportunity to participate. I'm trying to fund myself for the next 2 years because I do think difficult times are approaching us. And I want to be fully funded. I've been around too long to wait for cracks to appear in the financial system. They may or may not appear, but I think that's what's coming. So lots of news flow. Please come on board, and thanks for listening this morning.
Mike, thank you for that great presentation. We've got a few questions, so I'll jump into them. So drilling results, when are you expecting them coming through from Hopetoun?
So the core has only just been cut, just arrived in Perth. No core cutting facilities down there. We hope to get the key parts off to the lab by the end of next week. So we're probably looking at June, I would say. I wouldn't get more specific than that.
Perfect. And with such a diverse project portfolio, what is it that excites you the most?
Well, Hopetoun right now, because obviously we're getting some sniffs of success. But really, Arkham, I think, is our flagship project. It's a large ground holding. We've generated a significant number of anomalies from our early stage work. Only difficulty working the wheat belt, land access agreements and the harvest. So things will be pushed back in terms of drilling till later in the year, hence the focus on Hopetoun.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for your time today, Mike. We appreciate it. We look forward to further updates.
Thanks very much, Jane.